haven't. I've had conversations with the president, and I know that he is the only one who will be making the decisions on who will be his vice president.
You said that having a woman on the ticket would help Donald Trump win, and he said on this program last year that he liked the concept of running with a woman. Only men, as you note, are on his short list right now: Burgum, Vance, Rubio. Would Donald Trump be making a mistake if he does not pick a woman as his running mate?
You know, I think he needs to pick the best person for the job. He needs to help someone, pick someone that will help him win. And I think that President Trump is in a fantastic position to win this election. He's strong. He's right on all the policies. He needs to pick somebody who will help him win and make sure that he's back in the White House fighting for America.
I need to ask you, you wrote in your recent book, No Going Back, about shooting your dog, Cricket. Of course, the blowback was intense there. Do you think that sharing that anecdote, whether fairly or unfairly, cost you a shot at being his vice president?
You know, I would say that that was a story from 20 years ago about me protecting my children from a vicious animal. So, you know, we've covered that, and any mom in those situations, when you have an animal that's viciously killing livestock and attacking people, it's a tough decision. The reason it's in my book is because that book is filled with challenging times and hard decisions, and it's a story, but I think many Americans will be able to read and to learn how they can get engaged with their government again.
And to be clear, Republicans have had a lot to say about your story. Puppy dogs are pretty popular, from Senator Mike Rounds of your state. I was pretty stunned when I read it, said another. Why would you do that to a puppy? It's just crazy. Even Donald Trump said about that episode, Governor, that you had a bad week. Do you think it cost you a shot at being his VP?
Did you read the book?
We have read a lot of the book.
You read the book?
I haven't read it cover to cover,
it's a
but read
wonderful
large
book.
portions of
And
it.
if you read the book, a lot of what got reported was not the truth. Was not the truth on the story. So I would encourage people to read the book and to really find out the truth on why that story is in there, and read the other parts of the story about how we're not going back to politics the way that it used to be. How Donald Trump changed politics because we're having much more honest and genuine conversations about the challenges that people face.
So let's talk about the book, having gone through much of it right now. This week, Russian President Vladimir Putin traveled to North Korea to meet with Kim Jong-un. In the first release of your book, you wrote, "I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, there was no evidence that that meeting happened." So how did it make it into your book, Governor?
I'm not going to talk about that.
You're not going to talk about how it made it in your book?
I took that line out of my book, and I'm not going to talk about it.
I guess my question is, you wrote the book, though, so why was that line ever in your book if it didn't happen?
I wrote the book, and I hope people will read it. It's a good book about how the American citizen can get involved in their government again, and what they can do, and how the most powerful person in government is them. It's the people who show up, who get engaged, and the stories of what they can do to take this country back, and how Donald Trump's policies work for the American people.
And understood. Then, just to put it to bed once and for all, did you or did you not meet with Kim Jong-un?
I am not going to talk about this.
Wouldn't it be why is that such a difficult one to say publicly?
Because I've taken that line out of the book, and I'm not going to discuss it.
Okay, but I guess the question is, because you wrote it in the book, people just wanted to know whether that was an accurate or inaccurate statement. Let me ask you about the topic of abortion.